Hello everybody, I introduce myself as Rajiv Mehta and I am an education consultant based in South Mumbai. You can view my profile on my website rajivmehta.org, that's rajivmehta.org. And today I have the honor of being with Harry, who is from the British High Commission in Delhi. And I really like to express my gratitude for joining us in this event and making it possible. So Harry, thanks a lot. And there are a lot of doubts. I mean, the main purpose of this event is there are a lot of doubts going on in the minds of the Indian students who wish to consider studying in the UK and whether UK is welcoming them or not, or have they made the visa very strict for them. And I'm here to clear these doubts and to give a very strong message that yes, UK is welcoming Indian students with open arms, and of course the other international students from other parts of the world. And they're having a lot of opportunities for working along with the course and working after the course as well. And Harry here will explain you that what are the opportunities. And one more important thing is that the labor market test has been banished. So even that also gives a very big chance for the students to get a tier 2 visas to work in the UK post their education. And I'll pass it on to Harry and he can take it further and explain you all about the education UK benefits.
Yeah, thanks Rajiv. And yeah, so my name's Harry. I live in New Delhi and I work with the British High Commission. My role is to work with the Indian stakeholder and customers, like Indian students and parents, to explain the visa service, update on changes in our rules, and ensure that all genuine and credible students who have a place at a UK university or higher education institution are able to get a UK visa. So lots of people are doing that already. In fact, in the year to June, the most recent year, 22,000 Indians got a Tier 4 study visa. That was 42% increase on last year and 100% increase on 3 years ago. So double just 3 years back. We also, importantly, grant more skilled work visas, known as Tier 2 visas, to Indian nationals. Last year, that was 56,000, which was more than half of all work visas. So more work visas go to Indians than any other country combined. So that shows that we are open to Indians studying and working in the UK. Part of why so many students are choosing the UK is our strong post-study work offer, with plenty of opportunities available for people with good job offers in the UK. The UK government has already committed to increasing the post-study time. Previously it was 4 months, and it will move to at least 6 months in the future. We also have a number of policies that make it easier to switch from a Tier 4 study visa to a Tier 2 work visa, some of which include, as Rajiv said, removing the labour market test. That means that a UK employer doesn't need to show that they can hire a British national before they offer it to an Indian student graduate. So there's less checks for an Indian student to find a job. In addition, they don't count towards the Tier 2 limit. That's an annual cap of the amount of people who can get a work visa in the UK. So if you were to apply from India, there would be a limit on how many people. But if you were to apply as a student graduating from the UK, there is no limit. Finally, there's a reduced salary threshold. So again, for any skilled worker, you'd have to pay at least £30,000 a year salary before you could offer this job. However, if an Indian student graduates from a UK university, they would only need to be paid £20,800, almost £10,000 less, and many graduate jobs are above this level. So that's, in other words, it's easier, quicker, and cheaper for a British employer to hire an Indian graduate in the UK rather than any other worker from India or overseas. The UK is also looking at this in the future. We want to introduce an immigration system that gives us the ability to choose the best and brightest from around the world, regardless of where they come from. And India will be a strong part of that. So our policies on post-study work and student visas will give as many people the opportunity to study and live in the UK.
So I'd like to add something more regarding the UK education. And we come across a lot of parents and students every day, and they all, of course, they all make comparisons that UK or US or Australia or Canada, and I mean, of course, all are fantastic destinations. But there's a myth prevailing that UK is very, very expensive. So I would like to say that UK is offering masters for 1 year, whereas the other countries are offering masters courses for 2 years. So the fee becomes, half, and the living cost also becomes half. Now in the UK there are many universities who are giving masters courses with placements. That is like say for example, 1 year masters in international business with 1 full year of placement. And they are not charging you for the placement. So when you are working in the UK and drawing around say £2,000 approximately, which is a very low salary generally, so 25,000 pounds what you make from your internship, and 17 to 18,000 pounds is the average cost of the MSc International Business course. So I think we can definitely cover how much ever we invested. So that is not offered by any other country so far.
Yeah.
That is one big advantage.
And what's important to note is the immigration policy does allow that. So postgraduates and undergraduates can work 20 hours a week during term time,
Right.
full-time outside term time. But if they have a placement, like you mentioned, which is an assessed core part of the course, like it's part of the degree they're getting, then this is allowed by UK visas and immigration. So as long as it's part of the course, it's fine in terms of immigration as well.
And we have already had lots of student visas this year and last year along with the placements. So they are getting the visa from here itself. So suppose if you're going for a 1 year masters and a 1 year placement, you get an entire 2 year visa from here. You don't have to go there and extend it. So that was one doubt in the minds of many parents and the students about considering UK as a destination for their education. Apart from the master's courses, coming to bachelor's courses, there are again lots of universities in the UK who are having a 4 years bachelor's degree course in which the 3rd year is a full placement year. So if the course, for example, is charged at £12,000 per annum, so year 1 fee is 12,000, year 2 fee is 12,000, year 3 no fee is charged because that's the placement year, and year 4 fee is 12,000. So even, in year 3, if they drew about 2,200 pounds a month and they make about 25,000 pounds in the year 3, again we are recovering at least 70% cost of all the 4 years put together, which is not available in any other country. And the commerce courses in India and UK both are 3 years, and the engineering courses also India and UK both are 4 years. But in the UK 4-year engineering courses, again many universities are having a 3rd year placement year. So even that's a very big advantage where the return on investment and the loan recovery is concerned, because a lot of people are taking bank loans with interest 8, 9, 10%, or even up to 12 to 14% from private banks per annum. And if they get an opportunity to even reap 60-70% of the cost in the 3rd year, I think it's a very good decision to go to the UK for undergraduate courses also. One more thing I'd like to clarify regarding working in the UK. If one is married, then his or her spouse is allowed to join him or her respectively on a dependent visa, and a dependent visa allows the spouse to work full-time in the UK. Harry would give you some more detail about the dependent visa, student dependent visa on Tier 4.
Yeah, so it would still be counted as a Tier 4 visa, so it's the same category. UK immigration law defines a dependent as a spouse, so a husband or a wife, or a child, so son or daughter. Other relations wouldn't come under this visa. However, apart from the same general tests, like for example a TB test, which all Tier 4 students require, and also showing maintenance costs, so money showing that they can live and support themselves in the UK, which is between £9,000 and £11,000 a year, there are no additional requirements for a Tier 4 dependent, as long as they're travelling with a Tier 4 student. And then after that they can work whilst they're in the UK. So it's an option for families who are looking to go to the UK also.
I'd like to clarify one more thing, which is also a prevailing confusion. There is something called an IHS, that's an immigration health surcharge, that students need to pay along with the visa fee, which is generally £300 per annum. So in case your course is for 4 years, then you have to pay 300 into 4, that's £1,200 along with your visa fee. And I'll further pass it on to Harry to give you an explanation on the same as well.
The immigration health surcharge is a mandatory fee that you have to pay if you're coming to live, study and work in the United Kingdom for longer than 6 months of any year. It's £300 a year for students, and you pay it at the point of application along with the visa fee. If your visa is rejected, the visa fee is not refunded, but the immigration health surcharge is. Otherwise, if your visa is approved, and 96% of Indian student visas are approved, then the immigration health surcharge gives you full coverage in the United Kingdom for the duration of your stay. If that was 1 year stay, that would be a £300 cost. If it was 3 years, it would be £900, and so on. So, although you don't have any choice about whether you can pay the immigration health surcharge fee, it does give you full comprehensive access to the UK's National Health Service, like a British citizen such as myself would. So it's full health coverage in return for a fee during your stay in the United Kingdom.
So Harry, I've got this plan for you, and I would expect you to keep it at the British High Commission office. And since it's a plan, this depicts growth. So we hope that we have a very strong business growing further with the British High Commission.
Thank you. Thanks very much. We hope so also.